Hello everybody, welcome back to Bag Only, my inventory-only Ultimate Iron Man here on Oldschool Runescape. As you know, we're not using any kind of special extra storage, so no looting bag or death piles, no containers like the rune pouch, gem bag, herb bag, all that stuff, no POH storage like the costume room, and no stash units. In the last episode, I made a bunch of gear upgrades for combat. We got ourselves an Abyssal Whip as an upgrade from the D-Sim, and we also got the Abyssal Tentacle, so we now have a Kraken Whip, we have a Trident of the Seas, and we also pulled a Zenyte Shard and made an imbued Ring of Suffering with some recoil charges inside. To start this episode off though, I'm going to be doing a little bit of skilling, specifically mining and rune crafting. I know they're not very exciting. We're starting out with 78 mining here. Of course I want 85 to unlock Runite Ore, and eventually 92 to unlock Amethyst. And of course, 85 will help with the Tombs of Amascut puzzle room as well when we do get there, so it might save us some time in future. So I thought I'd just start with some Motherlode Mine. From 78 through to 81, I amassed 200 gold nuggets, which I spent at the guy to buy the bigger sack. Of course, we already had the upstairs access and full prospector on the collection log from the last time we were here. Once I'd bought this big sack upgrade, I decided to have a break from mining. I went over to Zaya to do some runecraft. We were 89 runecraft. I wanted to get this closer towards 91, because there is an elite diary step for the Karamja diary to have 91 runecraft. But since it's only 2 levels away, I thought we'd work towards that now, just because doing some Zaya blood rune crafting would also give us a tiny bit of mining XP to help towards our 85 mining goal. So I started off at Zaya making some blood runes, because that's all we could do at level 89, but once we hit 90 we'd be able to also make souls. What I decided to do is, now that we have the Gilded Portal Nexus in our house, and also we need to upgrade our spellbook altar as well with 5k bloods and 5k souls, is I just made a little bit of a tally of all the blood and soul rune prices that we'd need to add every teleport that we wanted to our Nexus 3, so we could shrink down our house and also get the final spellbook altar that gives us all 3 spellbooks in the house. So I thought, while we're training runecraft anyway, we'll just target the bloods and souls that we actually need to make POH upgrades, so we wouldn't have to go buy those from like the Wizards Guild or whatever. We would just have to hop worlds and buy the 10k astrals and all the other runes we'd need for the various teleports, like tens of thousands of lore runes and stuff. But I just made some extra blood runes to be able to sell and afford to buy all those. And then yeah, we just made some POH upgrades while we were doing this runecraft training. The only ones that I've not added, like I say, are the ones that are too hard or unnecessary to add, like the Weiss and the Marim, or the Wilderness Tellies, the ones that put us in the wilderness that I would never want to click by mistake, so I'm just not going to add them to the Nexus at all, because there's no need. And then, of course, there's Apatol Dungeon, which requires 90 mage unboosted, so I can't actually add this one. So here we go, nice cup of tea, we've got our crystal saw ready, and we've got so many runes in the inventory that we now don't really have any cash. And there it is, the Occult Altar on the Ultimate Iron Man. That'll let us swap to Ancients, Lunas, Arceus, and Standard at any point an unlimited amount of times per day, which could be useful. Honestly, I don't really see too much use in this, but it does save a bit of time getting onto Lunas. But maybe for thralls and stuff in future, this will save a bit of time. But it's just a nice upgrade to have. Now, the only thing missing in the house, like I've said 100 times before, is the Mounted Xerix and the combined Fairy Ring and Spirit Tree. And then what I'll do is just finish off this last little bit of 91 runecraft, because all this runecrafting this week has left us 19k away from 91, which is of course the level for Karamja Elite Diary to get double natures. So we'll go knock that out, and then next time we find a nature talisman somewhere randomly, we'll go juggle some stuff and do a full invent of essence over at the altar, and then we'll just have one left for Karamja Elite, which is to get 82 plus 5 herblore. But there it is, 91 in runecrafting, which is the level for double nature runes. Of course, we've done like 2 full runecrafting levels and a bit of another level. G'day chums, it's me here in the mining guild, getting 85 mining, there it is. Nice little bout of runecrafting and mining XP complete. This, of course, is the huge milestone level to unlock Runite Ore. Didn't really need it on the account, but like I say, it does help with the one mining puzzle in Tombs of Amascut. It's like a threshold of damage to the statue, so getting 85 or above mining should maybe help us do those puzzle rooms when we get there in slightly less cycles, potentially, don't quote me on that. So that will of course allow us to mine the regular runite rocks, but it'll also give us a chance of receiving rune ore from the Motherlode mine here as well, which will give us slightly more XP an hour. So yeah, that was about 40 hours to get 85 mining. If we do want to go through and get 92, which is the final and most important milestone, which is Amethyst in 7 more levels, that of course gives us a whole bunch of really cool stuff we can craft and fletch, including Amethyst Javelins, which are a really good money maker, and then of course Amethyst Arrow Tips, Bolt Tips, and Dart Tips, which we'll be able to fletch into pretty much some of the highest tier accessible ammunition in the game for bossing. We don't have Falador Elite done for better ores here in the Motherlode mine. We don't yet have a dragon pickaxe either for better mining. But what I do want to do real quick, we're not allowed to use any kind of container on this account, like the coal bag, the gem bag, the rune pouch, all that stuff. But what I am going to do is just buy both of these real quick for the sake of collection log pop-ups, because we do love some collection log pop-ups. And if we really quickly just check the log now, we've now fully greened the Motherlode mine. We've had both the kinds of bag and the full prospector. And then what we'll do is we'll just sell these back to Percy, because obviously we're not going to be using these bags on this account, we're not allowed to. So there we go, a nice selection of gems. And we finished the collection log for Motherlode mine, which is cool. That's 85 mining complete, 7 more for amethyst, which will unlock us some real nice ammo and such, and a new moneymaker for later. So with all these gems from these gem bags from the Motherlode mine nuggets, I decided to turn all the noted sapphires here into 84 rings of recoil. I just mined the gold ore in the Prif mine that's quite near the Prif furnace and the bank, just to save up charges for our future Zulrah trips, which will be really good. And of course you can turn off the Ring of Suffering recoil effect, so these charges won't be wasted. And then the rest of the gems that were better quality, I just crafted them into cut gems with a chisel just for the crafting XP, and then just sold them to the Berthorpe shop for a little bit of cash. So with 85 mining in our pocket, I decided the next thing would just be to send it to 92. So what I did first was head and do the Falador Elite Diary. We were really close. We had all the skill requirements except the farming level, but we were only a few tens of thousands XP away. I started off by killing the 1200 Black Knights you need for Falador Elite in the Taverley dungeon. I don't know why I decided to do these with a trident. I thought it would just be the most DPS, so it was the most common sense approach. But I did end up spending about 1.5 mil in runes to kill 1200 Black Knights. Knocked that out in a few hours. And I believe we just buy a white two-hander, and that's an elite task in the Falador area, which is cool. Completely useless item. But we just need it for the Falador Diary. So if we really quickly check that now, all we have left is to make a Saradomin brew in the Falador Bank with 81 herb lore. But like I say, if we just grab this 20k XP, then we'll be 77 herb lore, and we'll only need to hit a +4 stew instead of a +5, making this task all that much easier. So we'll get this level first, and then of course we'll have to mess about and do this magic roots thing once we have 5k more farming XP from somewhere. Okay guys, since we are in need of 20k Herblore XP and it's not quite Tears of Guthix Day, I'm just going to run around and do a couple of herbivores, see how good it is. I only need 20,000 XP, so I'm just going to do a little bit of herbivore for a bit, just see if the herbs we get do add up, and we get ourselves this 77 Herblore just to make this boost slightly easier. And then also getting this level will unlock stamina pots, which is cool, because that'll actually make doing herbivore like this way easier. Once the herbs do start to stack up, we'll just run over to the hardwood patch here. There's a tool leprechaun nearby, and we can just use the herbs on him, and he'll turn those into banknotes for us, so they can just stack up until we're ready to leave. As you can see here, we've got all sorts of stuff: Avantos, Irrits, we've got ourselves Qualms, Lanterdimes, Cadentines. You do get all the herbs for super combat potions if you're lucky. So if we did ever get like 90 herblore to make super combats, we could just come here and do a whole bunch of these boars until we got at least one of each herb. I've done about 2 hours of this. We've got ourselves 145k in hunter XP, so we're getting close to 82, which is cool. Obviously a new kind of impling at 83, and then if we just grab ourselves this herbivore here, we will be 77 herblore, which is kind of a huge level. Like I say, it's not very feasible to make stamina still. I think we'd have to go do the Relica course. We really need to find 3 more agility levels so we can unlock the Ardy course with no boost. That's 25 hours or something of Sepulchre. I'm just not in a massive rush right this second to unlock staminas, to be honest. I'm not going to be keeping super energy potions or stamina potions in my inventory for mining anyway. And then we'll get this level, we'll work on doing some stews, we'll get the stuff together to make a Sarah brew, and we'll also try and get 86 farming and dig up that magic tree, and see if we can knock out these last 2 things for Falador Elite, giving us slightly better XP an hour in Motherlode mine for this grind for 92 for our amethyst. So we had our stew, we had our farming level, just had 2 tasks to knock out. One was a herblore boost of +4, one was a farming boost of +5, and luckily those are the same colour of spice for those 2 boosts. This stew boost actually took over 3 hours to complete. I did 52 stews to get our +5 farming boost. It was actually insane, and of course to do each attempt it takes ages because we'd have to chop down our player grown magic tree in the Falador Park with a rune axe, which takes ages on its own. Then there's a random chance of it actually being chopped down into a stump, which is what we were looking for. And then if we didn't manage to nail our +5 boost while it was a stump, the next time a farming cycle would pass, it would grow back into a fully grown tree, and we'd need to stand at the tree, chopping magic logs, dropping them until it eventually turned into a stump again before we could sip another stew and even have another attempt. And it took 52 of these attempts, so that's why the whole thing took over 3 hours. Right guys, we've done 35 spicy stews, we've just hit another +4, which kind of sucks, but we have hit a +5 in herb lore, which is at least something. So here we are in the Falador East Bank, ready to make our first ever Saradomin brew, and there it is, 180 of the finest herb lore experience, and an elite task in the Falador area, meaning that we now only have one left, which is of course to do this stupid magic tree that's taken me over 3 hours of my evening to boost for, and we still haven't managed to do. Oh dude, come on. Yes, there we go! That's Falador Elite complete, guys. That's 3 magic roots dug up from a magic tree. Let's take a quick look. Our 3rd Elite Diary, I believe, on the account. As you can see, Lumbridge we completed first, then Ardy the other week, and now Falador. We get the Falador Shield, like I say, we can refill our prayer with that twice per day for free. We get a 50k lamp, which will be going into our herb lore. The tree patch that we've just been messing about with never gets diseased, so that's good at least. And then, of course, we get higher level ores from the payder in Motherlode Mine. Each of the ores that aren't coal has a higher chance to roll and a lower chance to roll coal. And then speaking of the amethyst, once we do hit 92 and unlock that, we do get the Elite Diary area in the mining guild that only elite gamers like us can access, so it should be a little bit less congested for actually mining our amethyst, so that's really good. Let's chuck our lamp into herb lore as usual, and that now puts us less than 100k away from our next herb lore level, but we are always working towards 82 +5 to make anti-venoms for the HP healing pool in our house, so that's all well and good. Hello everyone, it's that time of week, the cave juice. This one's going to go into prayer instead of herb lore because prayer is simply lower, but that's okay. It's going to give us a prayer level, which is cool. We're now 77 prayer on the account, so that is the level for all the current prayers, but of course the brand new spellbook should be coming out at some point this year and will probably require a higher level than 77. I think we need 85 for Elite Diaries for one of the desert steps, something like that, and of course that's not boostable, so we've got a long way still to go for prayer for unlocks as it currently stands, but it's always nice to get another prayer point on the account, and we're now 1993 total, so 7 levels away from those 2k total worlds. Back to mining. In the meantime, towards 92 mining, we're getting these gold nuggets. Can also get a few back from selling these 2 prospector pieces when we're done here, because at 92, of course, we will be moving to the amethyst rocks instead. We're getting a little over 30k XP an hour here, and with these gold nuggets, when we're finished and we get 92, we'll cash them all out for those noted packs of gems, and then we'll chisel all those for some nice crafting XP and a bit of money as well. We'll probably hit 86 crafting from all the nuggets from this, and we'll also get a huge stack of noted sapphires that we'll try and turn into as many recoils as possible, add to these 3,000 charges we previously made at level 85, just so they're ready for stuff like Zulrah in future. So that's also another thing we'll be getting out of this mining grind, which is cool, so I guess you could count that as something. Well, hey guys, just me, Motherlode Mine Doer, with my brand new skill pet that we just got. There's the rock golem on the account, so that's now pet number 3. Didn't expect to get this, it's quite a rare pet. So really nice to pull this bad boy, awesome pet. Looks really cool. For those not in the know, you can use different ores on him to recolor him, I think. And then when we don't need him, of course, I will be storing him in the house because we made an exception for storage just for cosmetic pets. We'll be storing them in our pet house, which is of course the top tier pet house, which can hold every pet in the game. So we're already sorted for all these pets we're getting, and the luck on the account just continues. So guys, it's the next day. I'm still 88 mining. I don't know if we were 87 last time because I'm not bothering to record every single level on the way to 92 because it's like an 11-day grind or something. But yeah, I just got the mining pet again, so we get a free pet reclaim, I guess, instead. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's just see if the skill pet thing in here says 2. Yeah, there we go. So we've had 1 Rocky and 2 rock golems now. Really weird. 2 pets by level 88. I'm sorry if you're 99 and you don't have this. If I could give you my second one, I would. Hello everybody, we're just in a little bit of a lull here from some mining. I thought I'd knock out just 2 random diary tasks, just because we have been getting rune ore from the Motherlode mine. One of the diary tasks we need to do for Kanda and Elite is to make our own rune haster up at Otto's Grotto. And we're just going to head over here with one of these magic logs that we can chop ourselves. I also made the rune axe myself, so this is going to be like a completely from scratch rune haster. And then if we make this bad boy, it needs 90 smithing, but of course, we have 90 exactly, so there we go. Don't even need any kind of boost to do this diary step. I know I haven't done a chewed bone yet, because we haven't killed any mithril dragons on this account, and that is actually a Kandarin diary task that we also need to do for this elite diary. So maybe if we get a myth dragon task when we go back to Slayer, then I'll try and remember to look at this. Another task I have on the list is just very simply cast Catherby Telly. Now this will be super easy, because now we have the altar of the occult in our house. We can just swap onto Luna's, then we can just cast that, and that's another Kandarin task. So that's two very easy elite Kandarin tasks knocked out. It's not the hardest diary in the world. We are limited by needing 86 herb lore with 77, so we can do this at 81 in 4 more levels with a +5 boost. And then another thing is to get every barbarian assault rank to level 5, all the different roles. So we're gonna have to go kill like 60 penance queens basically. So I'm tempted to leave Kandarin for a while, but I thought I'd just knock out 2 very easy elite tasks because we are closing in literally on every elite diary in the game. Anyway, straight back to mining. I think we're 88, we're very close to 89. We'll get that within this first hour today, and then we'll push on after 89 for these last 3 levels for 92. Hello everybody, it's a beautiful Saturday morning, and an even more beautiful thing is this level up, 92 mining finally complete. We've now been skilling for 2.5 weeks just to do these 14 mining levels, and of course the 2 runecraft levels we've done as well, pretty much all day, every day. I couldn't tell you how many hours it's been. To go from 78 to 92, of course, is almost 5 mil XP. It's like 4.9 mil, and if you want to do the maths on that, probably averaging 30-something thousand per hour. Quite a lot of hours. But that's it, that's mining complete on the account. There's now no more unlocks. We've surpassed the level 80 and level 90 shooting stars, so we can now mine every size of shooting star, but I probably won't be doing that anymore. What we are currently missing though, sadly, is still some fletching and crafting levels in order to make the most use of amethyst. We've got 85 already, so we can do the bolt tips and the arrow tips, but arguably the most useful unlocks are at 87 and 89. 87 is the javelin heads. Of course, we're not going to be making amethyst javelins, but these are the best money. And then of course if we get 89 crafting as well, we can make dart tips and make some really good darts for our future blowpipe, but that also requires 90 fletching, but we do need 90 fletching anyway for Desert Elite Diary one day for this dragon dart task as well. So we've got a bunch of fletching to do a little bit later down the line, but we'll probably wait till we're rich and just do broad arrows or something like that. For now though, it's time to finally cash out on our gold nuggets, so let's really quickly do that. That's the reason I've not been anywhere else to do any other kind of mining methods. It's just because we've been stacking up these golden nuggets while we're here. So let's just crack all these bags open. We've got 150 rubies, over 300 emeralds, 35 diamonds, and some dragon stones. We'll just chop all those into something or other, and then we'll sell those and just get the crafting XP from them. I think from processing all this, we'll get close to or past 86 crafting, giving us 1 level then to go find to do our amethyst javelin heads. So let's go cut some gems. I'll see you there. So what we'll be doing is just kind of processing most of our stuff here. So we'll just use the higher quality gems first just to use all those up, and then we'll figure out what we're doing for the mass amounts of gold ore slash bars that we'll need to make all our recoils. We probably have to do like 100 Zolcanos. One thing we could also do is just go do a gargoyle trip, because they drop noted gold ore and noted gold bars, which would add up, and also in the meantime we could make a bunch of money just from their normal drops. So that's also an option. But yeah, I'll just go find a place to get some gold to make all this jewellery, and then we'll see what we're doing after that. So I was in need of some gold bars to use up these gems for recoils. I initially tried Zolcano, didn't really get any luck with actually getting any gold drops, but I did get a bunch of other random bars that I just went and used at the Giant's Foundry, and we actually pulled level 91. I've not been training smithing actively till we stopped at 90, so all this XP is pretty much just from Slayer tasks, like putting noted bars from Dust Devils, Gargoyles, into the Giant's Foundry bin and just refining it. This is now the level to make the rune crossbow limbs without a beer boost that we've been using this entire time. There's actually no functional unlocks either in smithing after 91, and the skill cape does suck, so we are completely done with this skill. The levels are just coming in kind of passively when we're using up metal for alkables and stuff. Kind of nice to be done with both mining and smithing though, it feels kind of nice and rounded out. For our gold bars though, I decided to try Eclectic Implings real quick in Poro Poro, but drop rate's not really that good, they tend to fly away, it's just a really annoying experience, and I'd have to catch like hundreds or thousands of these imps to get the 500 noted gold bars for all these recoils, so I just decided to go back to the tried and true Slayer. There's so many monsters that drop either noted gold bars or gold ore, ranging from of course the gargoyles we mentioned before to Necreals and things like that, so why not just train a really important skill on the account while we slowly work towards these recoils, just get some levels in the meantime as well. Hey guys, here we are on Karamja. Just did a lovely gargoyle task that gave us over 300 gold bars. It also gave us a nature talisman, which I've turned into a tiara. So I'm really quickly just unnoted some pure essence. I also got this from the gargoyles. So a really excellent trip. And we're going to do one of the Karamja diary tasks here. So all I need to do is literally drop all my items on the floor, which is terrifying. I've turned off drop item warnings so it won't, mess us about when we're trying to do this. I've just got to really hope we don't DC now, or we literally lose all that juicy stuff there on the ground, but it should just be a second to go in and out. So let's run in. Of course, we've got the tiara itself equipped, craft some double natures, and there we go, a Karamja elite task to make 56 or more nature runes at once. So with that done, we've now got one more task left for the Karamja elite, to make an anti-venom or an anti-venom plus somewhere. Yeah, a regular anti-venom in the horseshoe mine. Of course, we'll be able to do that at 82 plus 5. It'll be very easy to do because we can fish up Zulrah scales. We just need 5 full herb lore levels and then an additional boost of 5. But that's just a really annoying task out of the way, just because we had a nature talisman on us. So he's back to doing Slayer. Obviously we need gold, we need a bunch of other things as well though. Slayer levels, we want 93 for the Western Elite Diary, and also we need 95 for Korend Elite. The Western one is not boostable, so we need to get at least 93, and then we can do a very simple +2 stew or wild pie boost for the Korend task. So yeah, straight back into Slayer, did some really great tasks, did a Kraken task again, and got my usual levels of luck. I started off at the small Krakens because we were just missing the empty trident from the small ones and the pet from the boss one, and of course I pulled the empty trident shortly into the task, so I swapped over to the boss for the rest of the kills. Didn't get any unique drops from the boss, but I did manage to get an achievement where you just have to kill all 4 tentacles first. It's actually really stupid to do, but it's just a combat task, so we knocked that out as well. Hey everybody, we're just doing a little bit of Slayer here. So here are the stats for those interested. Currently chugging away through our mage because we're doing a Necreal task at the moment, which is always nice. I've been thinking about bursting recently. We're taking up quite a lot of invent spaces for mage stuff. We've of course got the Ancient Staff and the Imbued Zami Cape, and of course the Trident as well. We don't really need bursting much once we've kind of done with Slayer, and I feel like if we're going to be fully done with Slayer, it's probably going to be at around level 93. And of course, if we do get to 93 Slayer, then the Thermi boss, which you can kill with melee very easily, does actually drop an Ancient Staff at 1 in 107 or something like that. So yeah, I feel like if we do eventually get to 93 Slayer, we should at least be able to get rid of this Ancient Staff. And like I've mentioned before, once we're done with Zulrah as well, I do think I'll get rid of this Mage Cape, because I don't think it's worth a permanent invent space for the 2% magic damage it offers, because currently it doesn't actually give us a max hit anywhere. It only starts giving you max hits when you combine it with other magic damage boosting gear, for example the Occult Amulet from Thermi itself, or maybe the Tormented Bracelet from Zenite, stuff like that. On its own, it's not really doing much, and pretty much everything that we mage or burst has next to no major defense anyway, so the accuracy from this cape isn't doing anything for us right now. Of course it's good as a switch for like high tier raids, but we're so far away from even thinking about that, it's probably not going to be worth keeping. So yeah, at some point after Zulrah we'll get rid of this Mage Cape. And it may be that if we do send 93 Slayer at some stage, which isn't too far away to be honest, then we'll unlock a new place to get the Ancient Staff as well. We might also be able to get rid of that, freeing up 2 inventory spaces pretty much permanently, and then if we do need to mage anything, we'll just go back to Purdue, get our Mage Cape 1 from his store, and then if we desperately need the Ancient Staff for some kind of burstable thing that comes up, then we can go to the Thermi boss on task, kill it with melee, pretty much doing the player-owned house method, and then simply get another one as a drop without having to go back to the wilderness. And then thinking about it, really, we don't really need Barrows gear for Slayer. I do pretty much every task in Proselyte because it's more efficient. There's no prayer bonus on Barrows, so it may be that I actually should send 93 Slayer before going to Barrows. I'm not really sure on that front. I know we had a kind of solid plan last episode. Maybe we'll do that, but maybe we'll just go to Barrows, New Mauritania Elite. I don't know. Hey everybody, here we are just making a couple of the recoils. In case you didn't know, this is how we do it. Got ourselves the runes to enchant. We've got our noted bars, ore, and our noted sapphires, chisel, ring mold, all that good stuff. Sadly, I'm only making 4 at a time at the minute because I'm mid-slayer task, but I just want to get rid of this stack of gold bars, so I figure it's probably just worth using these up just to get this one space back, and then we can get back into Slayer with a modicum of more efficiency. 1 level left and we can go make those amethyst javelin heads. Right guys, here we are. I've just been doing some drakes, and as you can see here in the chat box, we got a drake's tooth for the collection log, which is one of the 2 uniques from drakes. They're both 1 in 512. So this is the unique of the 2 that's combined with the holy sandals to create the devout boots, and it's quite hard to pull the holy sandals from mediums, so I don't see us keeping this thing too long. I was hoping to get the Drake's Claw, which is the other unique, same drop chance, and that's the one you combine with these boots of stone to make the brimstone boots. Hybrid mage and range and stab boots with much better defenses than these boots of stone, and you can actually wear them in the Konar dungeon in place of these before you've done that elite diary where you can wear any boots you want. A bunch of other things to get still from Slayer, but nice to truck on with this and see some more of these light up. Hey everyone, here we are, just got ourselves 97 strength here at these Hellhounds, so 2 more levels and we have the absolute max strength on the account, which is crazy, and we're also 30-something% of the way through this level for 99 health as well, so we're really sending it in terms of melees, and we're halfway to 89 Slayer as well, so that's really cool. Maybe we'll get to 90 and get Dark Beasts soon. And we're back, cheeky hard casket here, see if we can get anything nice like some Blessed Hide or anything useful for once. Some Armadil branded plate legs and some Saradomin branded Okay guys, here we are off to get ourselves an Ash Sanctifier because we've got Abyssal Demons from Doer. This Tent Whip actually only has 600 hits left, of course a full one is 10k. We've not even gone 1 full Slayer level with this thing, so yeah, Tentacle Whips don't really last that long. Until we get our Osmumten's Fang, I guess we'll just continue to use the Tent Whip, but the Fang is the ultimate goal, to go to Raids 3 and pick one of those up, because you can get it at like tier 50 raids, and it's obviously like one of the best swords in the game, and it's non-degradable as well, so it won't, you know, use up charges in combat. So we do want to get our hands on that thing, but for now, guys, we've been here for 33 kills. You just gotta will it into existence on this game, that's all it is, you know? Anyway, yeah, there's a whip. Very tempted to not upgrade this one going forward, bearing in mind it didn't even get us 1 Slayer level, and we want to get to 93. And if I have to come back and get like 10 whips over the course of this account, it really is a waste of time, because this is a bad Slayer task. But yeah, I'm just going to use up the rest of this whip on this task, but we will just be transitioning back to this other whip. We'll only lose 8 accuracy and 4 strength, which is an upgrade, but you know, it'll just give us more time to work on goals we actually want to do. But really nice to have our whip back. We can just kind of get on with things now. Right guys, here we are just doing some casual Slayer as per usual, and as you know, I think I've mentioned a bunch of times, one of the only things we're missing in our POH now is the mounted Xerix Talisman, which requires 5,000 of these Lizard Man Fangs and 1 actual Xerix Talisman. So basically, we need 50 Xerix Talismans at 1 in 125 each. So if possible, it would be nice to keep this stack on us, and just as and when we carry on doing more Slayer tasks, just stack this up and see if we can approach that 5,000, because otherwise the only way to get mass Lizardman Fangs is to hit the weird like tertiary drop from the chest at Raids 1. I'm not really in a position to do Raids 1 at the minute, but yeah, if I can just stack these bad boys up, we do end up being assigned like 150 Lizardmen at once, so every task we can pretty much assume we'll see at least 1 Xerix Talisman, so that'll be 100 Fangs. If we can get 5,000 of these, we can add a permanent Xerix Talisman to the POH, which is actually going to be massively useful for doing Mahogany Homes, because every few construction contracts you're given is 1 in Hosidius, and at the minute we don't have a way to get there. At the minute nowadays, if I want to get to that herb patch, I just use the Tithe Farm minigame telly if it's available, because that's the easiest way to get there. But if we do plan on doing the like 150 hours of construction to get 99, it would make a lot of sense to have the mounted Xerix Talisman first, so we can actually get to the construction contracts in that area, and of course just for the general use of it being in our POH, allowing us to teleport to each of the different houses, and eventually to Raids 1 as well. And it'll be the last thing pretty much functionally that we're missing from our POH. So yeah, just going to carry on doing some Slayer for a bit. As and when we're assigned Lizard Men, I'll make sure we do them, and then I'll just try and keep the Fangs, and as we approach 5k, I may just send the rest of the Fangs off task, and then we can go build that in our house and get just a huge unlock for the account going forward. Hey gamers, here we are in the Scotizo lair. We've got 2 totems burning a hole in our pockets, so I just thought I'd use both these up just for a little bit more invent space while doing Slayer. So killing this guy in the usual way, just with range, protecting mage and leaving all the altars up, and then killing them after a minute so they don't respawn, and then killing them with diamond bolts. See if we get anything cool from this 6th Scotizo. We get the Dark Claw, which I think is a Slayer Helm recolor or something. But it is 1,000 Slayer points to unlock the ability to put the claws on and make it purple. It's not worth the points, and we also only have 600 points, and we need them for skips. So we'll just be alking or dropping these claws. But this next kill, 500 death runes, which is really useful, because we're about to actually go to Kraken, so that'll help recharge our trident, save a bunch of money, and then we'll see if this hard clue is doable. And then yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Back to slaying. Hey everybody, it's time for Life Advice Corner. If you're ever struggling with anything in your personal life, I recommend head out to the nearest cave and lick some of the juice from the walls. It seems to help me improve at my very worst skills. Speaking of which, this should be some Herblore XP on the account. Of course, we're always jostling between Herblore and Prayer as our lowest skill, but with all the Slayer we've been doing, we've managed to keep Prayer above, so that's about 13k in our Herblore, putting us only 62k away from 78, but you know, we're trucking always towards 82 plus 5, so we can make those anti-venoms, make the POH healing pool in our house, and also complete the Karamja Elite Diary. Just a quick one, guys. I'm going to alk a couple of things in the invent, just to make some space. I've been hanging on to this Barrows lockpick for a couple of episodes now, and we're still not heading to Barrows immediately. It's just wasting a space, and if needs be, we can just go back to Sepulchre and just get another one. I'm also going to alk this Drake's Tooth. I was hanging on to it just on the off chance that we, you know, randomly complete a medium casket from, like, Dagonoths or something and maybe get the Holy Sandals. I think we're probably going to get primordial boots, if anything, on the account. I'm not looking to keep boot switches in the invent, so I'm going to get rid of the Drake Tooth as well. So yeah, back to Kraken, then onwards with Slayer, hopefully get Gargoyles, then we can make all these recoils, then go farm some Lizard Men, get 5k Fangs, free up this space, make a POH upgrade. Maybe Forestry will be out at that point, so we'll shift gears to do that, and if not, then we'll go back to the original plan of heading to Barrows, then to Zulrah. Yo guys, just cooking a few sharks here in between doing Slayer tasks for a bit of food, and this is a cooking level 87 cooking coming in. Really not very exciting to get cooking levels, but we do need 90 ultimately for diaries, as we need to make a summer pie with 95 for Varrock Elite, which we'll have to either stew up to or get a Chef's Delight beer for a +5 boost. But of course Varrock Elite also requires 90 Herblore, so it's so far away, I'm not even really worried about boosting for it. As soon as we hit 90, we'll probably just leave that diary task until a little bit later down the line when our Herblore's a bit nearer. And there it is, gamers, 89 Slayer, finally. So only 4 levels left, really, until the level we need for all Elite Diaries. Only 1 more level as well until we unlock Dark Beasts, but again, they're not particularly good. They're just very AFK-able, because they're very aggressive. But they only have a Dark Bow as a drop, which I don't think we'll find any use for on this account. I'd absolutely love it if there was some weird PVM use for the Dark Bow, but I just don't think there is, outside of, like I said before, maybe doing the Monkey Madness 2 final boss, because of the extra range and the double shot effect, but we've done that, so yeah. If we do hit 93, then we can go kill a Thermi off task, a single one. It allows you to do for the Western Elite Diary, and the other 2 steps of Western Elite are actually perfectly doable for our account, so we'll also just go for that full diary as soon as we hit 93. Anyway, onwards. Hey everyone, there's our first chewed bone, which is really good. That's what we need for the Kandrin Elite Diary, so now we can turn off Myth Dragons if needs be, which I probably will. We switched them on for 1 task and we killed 3, and we got ourselves our chewed bone, which is cool. Let's create a pyre log thing with the chewed bone, see if we get the Dragon Full Helm. I believe it's a 1 in 512. But if it doesn't happen, we'll probably never ever see it, because we will be switching off Myth Dragon tasks, and there we go. 1 elite task for the Kandarin area complete. We just need to make a stamina mix, which needs 86 Herblore, so we can't do that. And then we also, of course, need to fully complete Barbarian Assault and get every roll to level 5. Hey gamers, here we are just at Necreals. There's 87 defense. I thought I'd just really quickly round this level out by casting on defensive, just because we were super close. That's also 115 combat now, so as the skills currently stand in this game, not too many combat levels left, unless they release another combat skill one day. We're also really quickly closing in on 90 mage as well, so I might as well just count this clip as that one. We'll be unlocking a bunch of really cool stuff, including 1 more max hit with our trident, the Apatol dungeon telly that we could add to our POH Nexus, but it's not super super useful. And also, with a magic potion, we'll be able to +4 boost to Ice Barrage for a Desert Elite step, as well as +4 boost to Vengeance, which I don't know if that will have any function for the account, but Vengeance is needed for a lot of combat achievements and stuff, so that's useful as well. Hey everybody, here we are, going to go do a Lizardman task, which is always exciting, and I'm also on Ancients. I have burst these guys before. They do tend to stack up a little bit. Still have the Lizardman Fangs tagged, and as you can see, we've got 836 of these still from the last 3 Lizardman tasks I've done, which is definitely above average. But I did do like another hour off task the other night, and I literally got no talismans at all, so it's kind of evened out a little bit. But yeah, these guys do drop some really, really good seeds, so I guess I'll just decant down some of these anti-poisons, make some invent space, and then see what seeds we can come out with at the end of this task. 180 of these to kill, but like I say, we only really need to run around, tag them all like once each, and they should just kind of die on their own. I never hear of people bursting these on Iron Men for this mounted Xerix. It just seems like a really, really good idea, but I guess a lot of people just bank the Fangs as and when, and they eventually get 5k just by stacking them up. But of course that's not a luxury we have, and we can't just chuck them in a looting bag and keep it stacking up. The Fangs will hold a permanent inventory space until we have all the 5,000 we need. So yeah, the only real reason we are doing these Lizard Men is for the Fangs. I might turn them off if we do get the 5,000. I also might not, because it's a very quick task. Hey gamers, there's Scutizo number 8 on the account. Will we get anything good? A hard clue, ancient shards, another dark totem base, and some death runes. Not the most exciting stuff, but the death runes are useful because we're about to go do some more necreals, which is always nice, and we'll go see if we can do this clue, but probably not. Hey you guys, cheeky 78 prayer coming in there. Like I say, we do end up training prayer quite well when we're doing Slayer, just from Ash crushing, Insold Heads and Bone crushing, so yeah. And we are slowly but surely approaching base 80s on the account. Just 2 prayer levels and 3 herb lore levels and we'll be there. Hey everybody, there we go, that's the end of our recoils. That took probably like an hour and a half, something like that. And if we take a look, we now have 28,000 recoil charges in the Ring of Suffering, which is a whole lot of recoils. Considering you tend to use over 1 recoil per Zulrah kill, maybe 1 to 2, then we've got a couple of hundred Zulrah kills stored there. Of course, we'll keep the recoil effect turned off and just save it till we do get to Zulrah. That's really, really nice to have. Of course, that's the fruits of our gem bags from the Motherload Mine grind at the start of this episode. Good evening, everybody. It's time for sort of a monumental achievement for the account. I'm here in Al-Kharid for one reason and one reason only, and that's to kill this particular man right here and get ourselves 99 hit points on the UIM. Obviously not the most difficult skill, arguably the easiest skill in the game to train, but there it is, finally our second 99. We're a master of hit points, why not go grab a cape? So I think we'll do just that. Of course we started with 99 range back in December, and we've gone 3 mil over 99 range since then, and we finally pulled in the 99 hit points to bring that up to speed. Of course, we're getting close to 98 strength as well, so that's on its way to being our third 99 potentially. But yeah, second one. So now either of these skill capes that we have available, the hit points or the range cape, will now be trimmed, which means they'll look a bit cooler and they'll also have a +4 prayer bonus. Now this will be useful down the line when we get to certain bosses where we'll be taking the range cape over the Ava's device for the defenses and the prayer bonus. And once we get a Vorkath's head as well to upgrade that into the like top tier assembler, it'll save all our ammo and it'll also give us a little bit of prayer bonus. So let's just grab ourselves a HP cape just for the memes. There it is. Matches really nicely with our proselyte. We actually look super good with this thing with the Dragon Defender on as well. So yeah. For those not in the know, the cape gives you double HP regen. It's similar to just having rapid heal on all the time, and it also stacks with a regen bracelet for 4 times health regen if we ever get one of those for some kind of weird skilling method. So maybe at Wintertop, maybe somewhere like that, we'll wear this thing. Of course we can reclaim this at any time by going back to that Jewel Arena NPC and paying just a small 99k. Same with our range cape. Hey gamers, just talking to Boaty over here, and we've got ourselves a medium clue scroll casket. Will we get anything good? Oh, a Guthix Mitre, okay. 4 mage bonus and 5 prayer bonus. No defences, but we'll hang on to that for a bit and we'll see if we have any use for that going forward. Really nice. Hard clue casket, because we're an efficient clue doing Slayer boy. Let's see if we get anything good this time. Ancient D-high boots, wow. Don't need those anymore. Would have been nice to receive these a long time ago. As you can see, the stats are comparable to Rangers. A decent clue, one for the collection log, but nothing really for our account. Hello everybody, you're probably thinking, hey, deja vu, you've got dragon boots before, but we're back, and it's time to drop trade these ranger boots. They're currently sat at a juicy value of 37 million GP, which will be fine on the main. Now I'm sure you're thinking, obviously rangers make the best in slot range boots in the game, why would you ever drop those? Really, I can't afford a boot switch, I've mentioned this before. You know, while they are really good for range, they don't give you any range damage, and that extends to the Pegasians you get, but also they have quite a heavy negative in magic, so they're not very good for tri-bridding. We're going to try and just get the best possible boots that don't have too many negatives in other styles. I think for raids and stuff where we'll be tri-bridding, I think you just want like dragon boots pretty much. So there it is, we're back to dragon boots just because we are slaying. Freed up some inventory spaces by getting rid of the rangers. Ideally, I think endgame we're either going to be going for the guardian boots or the primordial boots, because they have really decent stats but not too many negatives. So yeah, one of those two will be our endgame boots. But if we do pick up the boots of brimstone in the meantime, those will be really nice for Zulrah, because they do have a small mage and range bonus. Hey everybody, there it is, 90 Slayer coming in. That's Dark Beasts unlocked. The drops they have are kind of rubbish. The only unique, of course, is the 1 in 512 Dark Bow. Now, of course, the next level we'll get is 91, which will be Cerberus, a boss we can take on anytime we get a Hellhound task. And then in 3 levels, of course, is Thermi and Smoke Devils. A bunch of cool uniques from that one, not least the Occult Amulet, giving us a whole bunch of mage damage in the next slot. So that might be worth it as a switch at Zulrah or Barrows. So if we can get that unlocked as well, that would be really, really nice to get on the account. And then at that point, we can get rid of our Ancient Staff. It is a lot of experience we still need to get, like 1.8 million more. But, you know, a very achievable level. Hey everybody, there's 91 magic coming in. Just thought I'd fire this out really quickly with a little bit of burst here at Dust Devils off task. Nothing really with 91 mage other than a little bit more mage accuracy and a little bit more magic defense. Of course at 93, 96 and 99 our Trident will gain 3 more max hits, so that's really, really exciting. But yeah, for now I'm just off to Necrials, so I thought I'd just clue you guys in on this really quick mage level, continuing to slay. Hello everybody, it's your favourite Slayer as ever checking in. Just doing a little bit of fletching after a gargoyle task. Like I say, I've been trying to use the bars for darts and stuff, and there we go, another fletching level. Now we can make amethyst arrows at 82, so 8 more levels till our ultimate fletching goal. So now we do have the crafting, mining and fletching level to make amethyst arrows, and they will actually be the best arrows we have access to probably for a long, long time, because the only better arrow in the game, which is the dragon arrow, can't actually be fired by a magic shortbow, and we're not going to be main-handing a dark bow anywhere, even though we could obtain one of those. Hard casket, what else is there to say? Let's see some juicy stuff. Brand new collection log slot there, a red dragon mask and a couple of alkaballs. Looking stylish, goes with our cape, gloves, boots, defender, whatever else, but it will be an alk, as you might expect. Gamers, through the good graces of our good friend Sannybok here, we've got ourselves a hard casket. Let's see if there's anything good inside. Ooh, Ancient D'hide Shield. That's kind of a tasty item, but not really one we can keep right now. I'm trying to slim down the invent, not add new unnecessary things. And the only task I think that we currently range is Drake's, where we use an anti-fire shield. So there's really nowhere in the game that we really need an Ancient D'hide Shield. But yeah, brand new unique. That one's actually really rare, if you didn't know. Of all the Blessed D'hide pieces, the shields are a lot more rare than the rest of them. Of course, these are the pages. We've completed the red book only, and we've completed every other book with duplicates, but we haven't received the 4th page for each of these books. Pretty sure eventually we'll finish the rest of these books just through our passive clues we're getting from Slayer, etc. But let's take a look. We've done 183 easies, which... that's a lot, but the reason we've barely received anything is because we opened all those on Intrana, of course, to finish our Unholy Book. Mediums, we've only done 39, but we have had Manacles, Wizard Boots, and Rangers, as well as a couple of other miscellaneous bits and bobs, a couple of Miters, things like that. And then for Hards, we've had D-Boots Ornament Kit, which we had to get rid of. We've had some God Rune Plate, we've had some Heraldic, we've actually had 2 D'hide Shields, some D'hide Boots, some more D'hide Boots, D'hide Body, and 2 Blessed Coifs, all in 43 Hards. Now that is really, really good luck, but of course a lot of the clues that we do receive we can't complete. I think just because we're currently doing Dark Beasts, I really don't need anything in my inventory. I'll hang on to the shield for now, but you may see it disappear in the next few clips. Good morning, chums. It's everyone's favourite time of the week. You know what it is. It's the Cave of Herblore Juice. Gonna have a slurp and get ourselves some Herblore XP, which is actually going to put us really close to 78. So we get ourselves like 13k. We're 700 away from 78, which is quite a big level. So I'll go to the next clip where I will have got enough herbs to get 700 XP, get the threshold, and then tell you about what we've just unlocked. Make 2 anti-fires and a weapon poison, and there we go. 78 Herblore. That's a really, really big Herblore level, but honestly, every Herblore level is really, really big because we've got some just crazy good potions that are still really far away that we really want to unlock. The main thing, obviously, like super combats are 90 Herblore, so Herblore is really, really tough to train, but really, really valuable to us. And this unlocks a bunch of cool potions at 78. We can now make Zami Brews and also Torstal potions unfinished without any kind of boost, but also you unlock a suite of potions inside Raids 1. I'm not really a Raids 1 expert, Chambers of Xeric, but with 78 Herblore you do unlock the highest tier of like the basic potions, Revitalization Plus, Xeric's Aid Plus, and Prayer Enhance Plus, which are basically brews, restores, and then like, I guess, prayer? So yeah, we have the highest tier of those, but of course we still need 90 Herblore, the same level as super combats, to make the very best overloads in Raids 1. So we're quite far away from being able to fully efficiently do Chambers of Xeric, but 78 Herblore is a really, really nice level. Hey, there we go guys, just doing some Slayer, and that's our first ever Dark Bow. Like I say, there's not much use to this item on this account, but it is really one of RuneScape's most iconic weapons, up there with the Whip, I'd say. Just doesn't have the best stats to actually functionally be used anywhere, but one more collection log slot. Hey everybody, there it is, the Drake's Claw finally on the ground. That's awesome, a 1 in 512 while on Drake task, and it only took us 619 Drakes, so 107 extra. Now for those not in the know, I've talked about this quite a lot. It upgrades the Boots of Stone, which you need to fight Slayer monsters in this dungeon without taking massive damage from the ground until you've done the Korend Elite Diary, which is still a long way away. So basically now, if we get assigned a task in here like Drakes or Worms, or you know, Fire Giants, Hellhounds, whatever, from Konar, then we can do them with a slightly more combat stats. So I'll just finish this Drake off here. Of course, we've already also had the Drake's Tooth now, so for the collection log's sake, Drakes are complete, which is really cool. So here we go, let's use this together. There's no skill requirements, and it turns them into some Boots of Brimstone, which actually look really, really cool. They have 3 stab, 3 magic, and 5 range. Which means for hybrid things like Zulrah, then these will be really, really good, because unlike the Ranger Boots, they don't have like a massive -10 in magic, and they also have a decent amount of defense for some boots. Obviously, in the long term, we're going for Primordials or Guardian Boots as our kind of endgame boots. Anyway, back to slaying, let's take a look. We've got 222k till Cerberus is unlocked, and our melees are coming along nicely, so I'll see you soon. Well, 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 get a load of this, Dark Bow number 2. Still got the other one in the inventory, so I guess we'll pick this up. At the very worst, it's a 72k alc. At best, it's a 1.4 mil drop trade, so nice to have these, but, you know, I really don't see them being useful anywhere on this account. And another hard casket. Let's see if we get any Blessed D'hide again this time. Oh wow, blue D'hide Chaps Tea. Completely useless item, but one for the collection log and one that we can alc, so really nice. Right, good morning gamers, here we are at the Lizard Men once again, thanks to Doer. About 200 of these bad boys to kill, so I'm going to attempt to burst them, because we just had runes on us from doing Dust Devils yesterday, so I think we got 2 last tasks, so we're now at 1350 out of the 5100 we need. Cutting up the grind into just like individual Lizard Man tasks like this is a lot more enjoyable than sitting here for, I don't even know how long it would take honestly, like probably 10 hours. To get all these talismans, and we'd really be making no progress in our Slayer and stuff if we did this off task. Like I say, the reason we are doing it now is because we're training Slayer anyway, and we're getting Lizard Man tasks. Currently set on 7 mil GP as well, which is always nice. For those of you wondering why I'm not just going for the Dragon Warhammer right now, because I keep getting so many Lizard Man tasks, it would make more sense, right? Obviously those guys just take way longer to kill. The Lizard Man Fang grind is like just a secondary thing while we're going for 93 Slayer. I don't want to slow that down too much. Plus the addition, we don't need the Dragon Warhammer right this minute, and I don't want to get items that I don't immediately need, because they are permanent in event spaces. Obviously we can't store them anywhere, so that's why I'm not doing the Warhammer now. If we were looking towards maybe raids or specific bosses where we need that, like maybe Calphite Queen to spec it down or something, then maybe I'd be doing these tasks there. But what you do have to understand is to do Lizardmen Shaman, I also have to go back and get full Shazian 5 every time I get a Lizardman task, and that takes, you know, 10-15 minutes to get a full set of Shazian 5, which is a lot of effort in itself, and then you need a lot of supplies to fight those guys. Whereas to fight these regular ones here, you literally just need to go to Brimhaven shop, buy a full invent of anti-poison 3s, and then just come here with full prayer. It's so much easier and quicker to kill these guys. They share the same drop rate of the talisman, which is where we're getting the majority of our fangs from. I don't have a blowpipe, so the range weapon's going to either be MSB or rune crossbow. It's just really not worth going for a Dragon Warhammer now. Hey everybody, here we are getting almost a quad whammy of skill upgrades. We've just hit 98 strength from this last Dark Beast, which is crazy. We've got 1 level left and we've got max strength on this account, especially considering, like I've said, the last level we're training on controlled, so we're effectively getting 1/3 the XP an hour in strength we could be getting. We're also very close to 79 prayer, can't believe how far that's come along as well, and we're also super close to 91 slayers. We've got a bunch of combat based skills that are about to come in, the level for Cerberus and of course 1 level for that strength cape, so we're going to keep grinding away. In terms of the Lizardman fang grind, we're now on 1900 fangs, so we've probably got like 4,000 more lizard men to kill. About to get a really big level here coming in. This is going to be 91 Slayer with the death of this demon. We could potentially go take on the Cerberus boss in Taverley Dungeon and get those best in slot boots for all 3 styles. Of course, the only 2 things that exist now in Slayer are the Smoke Devils and Thermi at 93, and then Hydras and the Alchemical Hydra boss at 95. Really wish Jagex would drop another Slayer update. It's been, what was it, Basilisk Knights or Firewatch or something? Either way, really big level, really big progress on the account. Anyway, I think with that level, I'm going to call this episode done here. A whole bunch of progress in this one. We started off with 78 mining on the account. We did 14 levels, which was 4.8 mil XP. It was about 140 hours of grinding for that one, in which we also passed the 85 for Runite and that room in Tombs of Amascut. And of course now we have the level for Amethyst. Along the way we did Falador Elite in between to give us better ores during the grind, and also unlock a private Amethyst area for later when we do want to do some Amethyst crafting. It took an entire day for that diary, but it's always worth it for Elite diaries. In the meantime, we completed the Motherlode Mine collection log, including the big sack and the upstairs that we already had, and I also got the Rock Golem mining pet twice. In between doing the mining, we did a little bit of rune crafting for 4 days to get from 89 to 91. Of course, we passed 90, which unlocks soul runes, which will be really handy in future if we ever need any for like any spells or anything. And we also filled up the Portal Nexus with all the spells that we want in terms of teleports available from our POH now. They're all done, and I also managed to get the runes together to make the combined Occult Spellbook Altar, so that's really cool. The POH is looking really good, minus the mounted Xerix, which we are currently working on. With mining and runecrafting out the way, we started Slayer, of course, with the goal of getting noted gold to make a bunch of recoils with the gems from Motherlode Mine, ending up with 28,000 charges in our Suffering, which will be a few hundred Zulrah trips in future, so they're nice and safe. With that, I just carried on slaying all episode pretty much, because I now want 93 Slayer next, in order to complete the Elite Western Diary, and also be able to very easily boost by +2 for the Korend Elite Diary. With this level, there aren't really any more massive unlocks aside from the Alchemical Hydra boss, which we're not really prepared for in terms of gear and stats, so I'm not really in a rush to 95 Slayer. We'll just stop at 93, and then since we won't be actively training it desperately anymore, we will also be able to drop our Ancient Staff and free up an invent space, which is doubly good because Thermi also drops the Ancient Staff, so we'll be able to go back and get it when we do want to get settled into some solid slaying in the future. Thermi will of course also unlock the Occult Necklace, which is a massive mage damage switch, which will be super useful before we go to Barrows and Zulrah, and even for like DKs for the one that you have to mage and stuff. Of course you don't need all these crazy endgame switches to do simple content like that, but it's just going to make it slightly more efficient, so it makes sense to do it in this order. Along the way with slaying, I made an effort to do all the Lizardman tasks of course, and keep the fangs towards the 5k we need for that mounted unlimited Xerix I mentioned before, and at the end of the episode I think I'm just shy of 2,000 fangs out of the 5k, so we're about 40% of the way through that goal, so hopefully we should do that while getting these next 2 Slayer levels. Along the way I also picked up a bunch of uniques from Slayer. Of course we did 3 levels in this video, 88 through to 91. We got the Dark Claw from Skatizo, an empty trident from Small Krakens, a fresh whip to replace that rapidly dwindling tentacle that we got from the last episode. Keeping that thing upkeeped is just not worth it in terms of a Slayer grind. We might go back and get another tentacle in future if we get to like raiding or something where we really need the best melee stats possible. We also picked up both Drake uniques, one of which gives us the Brimstone boots, which is really cool. We have those now, keeping those for Zulrah because they're a really good hybrid mage and range boot. And we also picked up Chewed Bones for the Kandarin Elite Diary, so we did that task as well. Also ended up doing a ton of clues, mostly hards because it's Slayer. We picked up Zaros D-hide boots and shield, Gothic's mitre, red dragon mask, trimmed blue D-hide legs, D-boots ornament kit, various god rune pieces, just loads of stuff this episode. We're ending off with 91 Slayer unlocked, so Cerberus is unlocked for when we decide to head there. The immediate goal for next episode, though, is to send these next 2 Slayer levels, hit 93, get Thermi unlocked, and then we'll try and just go straight for the Western Elite Diary, as that's the only real thing that's a roadblock for us. The other 2 tasks are just pest control and doing some chompy content. We'll get a really nice 50k lamp for our Herblore, and we'll also get the chompy chick pet, the best pet in the game. So if you're excited for that one, do join me next episode. Speaking of stuff like that, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, drop a sub if you want to see the next one, and of course drop a comment if you feel you want to, if you want to suggest any content you'd like to see done on this account, or the order to do things or anything like that. I'd love to read it. Otherwise, stay hydrated, enjoy the summer weather, whatever. I'll catch you guys in a couple of weeks. Take care.